Hello everyone, welcome back to CDL match predictions, whatever, man. We're talking about CDL matches. I'm back. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday break. This video will be shorter than the other ones because it is like 5 in the morning right now, and it is currently Friday, January 9th, and I need to get this out soon. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip over it. I'm gonna go ahead and put my predictions on the screen. It's gonna be from my notes. These are the predictions from week 2, and we're gonna have the counter down below where you can track everything. The next episode, I promise, we'll go through all the predictions, but the current score is down at the bottom of the screen right now. Let's go and get into it. First matchup today is Falcons versus G2. I'm not gonna lie, I want to root for Falcons, but I think G2 is gonna take it. I'm gonna do a safe pick and say G2 wins this 3-1. I think Falcons at least take a search and destroy off them. When it comes to just overall respawn, I think Falcons can win respawns, but it just depends on Xnid. I think he is the X factor for this team. I think Fred is, he's either going to be really good or really bad. It's kind of in between. And then Kismet, I feel like he's the one that kind of gets scapegoated on this team a lot. If we could have Xnid and Kismet going crazy, and then Cell and Fred going crazy, like either of those two duos going just absolutely bonkers on the map, then Falcons have a really good roster on their hands. Clearly they're 2-2, so they're not the worst team in the league, but I think G2 might edge them out just a little bit here. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick it with G2. I just have a feeling that something's gonna go wrong in this series. Then we're gonna go to the next match, which is Miami versus Carolina, which this is gonna be a very interesting match because I just realized that there's only 2 matches today. That is really fucking corny. Wow. But this matchup's gonna be very interesting because this is with Carolina's new roster. If you guys don't know, Slasher retired literally, I think, like a few days ago in the timeline of recording this video, and he decided that he just hates this format. He is so used to the CWL format and old GB format where like you're playing 4 or 5 matches a day, and then you go into the weekend and you play like 4 or 5 more depending on where you're at in the bracket. He didn't like the format. CDL, they've honestly ruined it. I'm gonna agree with him on that. But he retired, which now has brought up Exceed to the roster, I believe. Yeah, it's Exceed that's on this roster now. So I think, honestly, they might get the new roster buff. I think Carolina, I love Ravens. I love Ravens. I love Miami, right? I love both of these teams in terms of like what they can do for the league. I think Ravens edge out Miami here. I'm going to go with a 3-2 Ravens, mainly because Exceed, he kind of has a chip on his shoulder. If you don't know about Exceed, he's a very loudmouth pro, but that's not really a bad thing because Scrappy is the same way. But Exceed, he has a little bit, he's a very polarizing figure in the competitive Call of Duty community. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna be playing as hard as he fucking can to prove like, hey, like I should have never been in challengers. I should have been in the league this whole time. Then we move on to Saturday. We have our first match of the day, which is a classic. We have OpTic Texas versus FaZe Vegas. Obviously, I'm gonna go with OpTic. However, I do want to talk about a newcomer to the FaZe roster because there was a lot of roster mania that happened over the holiday break. Of course, we have Slasher retiring and then Exceed coming up to Ravens. Now we have a Challengers player by the name of Aluka who is coming up to FaZe's substitute spot. Now, granted, apparently, this has been rumored for a while that Draza is going to be the one that gets dropped from this FaZe roster, and it's looking like Aluka is going to take his spot. Now, I personally think Draza kind of gets a little bit overhated. I feel like he gets scapegoated, just like, there's always a scapegoat for every team. But I don't think Draza is the problem, but we'll have to see. Aluka, he's been frying in challengers. If you haven't been watching challengers this year, it's been very entertaining. I highly recommend you do. The storylines are so much better. And storylines in competitive Call of Duty make this esport one of the best esports to watch. So we need to keep an eye on if FaZe makes a roster change post Major 1. I don't think it's going to happen pre Major 1. I think it's going to happen if they do not have a good showing in Major 1. Aluka will come up. Though whether he takes Simp or draws a spot, We don't know. I don't think 04 is going to lose the spot. I definitely don't think Neptune's going to lose the spot. I think those two are kind of locked in on that roster. So I think OpTic win this. I'm going to say 3-1. 3-1 for OpTic. I think I said 3-2 or 3-1. I'm locking it in. OpTic win 3-1. And then speaking of ROSTERMANIA, we have Vancouver Surge versus Boston Breach. There's more ROSTERMANIA. Legend was benched by Surge, and then he went to go play in Challengers. He was playing for Zuma's Challenger team, the Stallions, which I love that team so much. And then there was there's some weird drama going on where like he wanted to take a break, and then they couldn't get someone to replace him in the Elite. So he was like, all right, fuck it, I'll play. And then apparently he decided not to take a break anymore just so he can play with another Challengers team. So Legend is not on this roster. Now TJ Halley from Telluride Bush, which is another Challengers team that is sponsored by Barstool Sports, he is on Surge now. And TJ Halley is the longest tenured pro in the league right now. I think he's been a pro ever since like 2014. So he's or no 2013, something like that. So while he's not the oldest pro in the league, he's not the longest tenured, and he is now back on Surge. I think he's going to be a big buff to this team, man, because now they're going to actually be playing 4v4, not 3v4. Tej, he's a little bit of a trolly individual if you talk to him. In terms of personality, he doesn't seem like he takes the game serious, but there's a reason why he has been running fucking Challengers when he's not in the league, and when he's in the league, he's not doing the worst on his team. So I think Surge win this 3-2. I think this goes map 5, and I think Tej shows that he is phenomenally good when it comes to search. I think he's going to be doing good in the respawns. I think he's just an overall benefit to the Surge roster. So I'm going to go and lock it in. Vancouver Surge win this 3-2 over Boston Breach. And then we have Gentlemates versus Cloud9. I think Gentlemates win this 3-1, maybe even 3-0. This C9 team, it doesn't really, I just don't think they stack up against Gentlemates. We're just going to go ahead and keep it very brief. We've already talked about Gentlemates, Cloud9. None of them have had any roster changes, or at least I don't think they have. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. I think Gentlemates win this 3-1. Nothing really to write home about with this one. And then we go to Sunday. First match of the day, G2 versus Carolina. I think this goes map 5. I honestly think Ravens take this 3-2, but that's just because G2 beat themselves. Now, again, there's an asterisk by this because I don't know how good Exceed is going to be on this team. So I'm just going to say Carolina 3-2 because my gut is telling me, and I need to be trusting my gut more. So we're going to go ahead and lock in Carolina 3-2 against G2 just because G2 beat themselves, or because Exceed pops off. It's going to be one of those two reasons. And then we have Surge versus Texas. I think this is going to be a lot better than if it was going to, happen with Legend on the roster. I think this is going to be a very fun matchup to see TJ Halley and Dashy, who are former teammates and really good friends in real life, go up against one another. The Twitter timeline is going to be hilarious, depending on who wins. But I don't see Surge being the team to beat OpTic, especially this week. So I think OpTic win this 3-0, 3-1. And then last match of the weekend is Toronto Koi versus LAT. I love watching these guys play. Honestly, I love this matchup. 2-1, 2-1. This is going to be a banger of a match. There's also been more Challenger news regarding LAT. There's been a lot of Challenger news over the break. Basically, Neum, who is a Challengers player for Huntsman, which is OpTic's Challenger team, has been signed as a substitute for LAT. Now, there is a caveat to this that was revealed on the OpTic podcast, that if LAT do not use Neum by Major 1, then he is no longer a substitute for LAT. Or at least that's kind of the gist of what I saw of it. Now, rumor is that Kenny is going to get the boot on this team. And personally, I don't see why they wouldn't just boot Kenny now if they have Neum. Neum's been a really good player in Challengers. Kenny, I don't know what it is, man. He's been in a fucking slump. Ever since he won that ring in MW3, he's just not been the championship caliber player that, he is. He's been a consistent player up until BO6. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if it was Omni movement or what, but apparently Neum might be taking Kenny's place, but only if it's before Major 1. So we'll see how that pans out. I think personally, because I think I forgot to say this in my week 2 predictions. I think I forgot one prediction, but it's fine. We're gonna go ahead and say LAT. I'm gonna say LAT 3-1. I don't know why it doesn't go map 5. I just feel a 3-1 in my future. I'm sorry if this video seemed rushed. Again, like I said, it's Friday. I forgot to record this. It's been a very busy week for me. I apologize for the rushed nature of this video. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments below. Let me know if you guys are gonna be watching the matches, if you don't really care, and if you're excited for Major 1. I don't know if you guys saw, but there's an OpTic Scuff House Zombies map at Major 1. So if you're gonna be going to Major 1, please play it. Please tell me what you think of it. I would love to play it for a YouTube video. We're gonna have more different types of YouTube videos on the channel. Season 1 Reloaded just came out, so I need to be making a video on that and how BO7 has handled itself prior to BO6 or in comparison to BO6. We'll be coming out with that shortly. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night, depending on when you're watching this. And I will catch you guys next time. Later.